Yeah.
50 years ago, the government came and sued states for not following the Constitution and not implementing the laws of the country. Today, it sues states for actually following the Constitution and enforcing the laws.
Amen.
This is perverted. You got drug cartels, hungry money coyotes engaged in the exploitation of poor men and women. Just want to have an opportunity to come over and have a good life. And then we find out we got communist spies sitting around our neighborhood. The federal government sues, it lectures, and with foreign leaders it criticizes our popularly elected leadership in this country. The American people have had enough. There was this German leftist, what we would think of leftist today, philosophical school of thought. They say you have these three strands. You have a thesis. This is really why today is important. It's not really about winning an election or winning a campaign. This is not about James White. It's really important here. You have a thesis, you have an antithesis or antithesis, and you have a synthesis. You have a leadership that's in control, from Mac Reynolds, he's in the loop. Democrats in Austin, all the way to Washington, that are pursuing an antithesis to the American thesis. Limited government, individual freedom, responsibility, free enterprise, and traditional values. I think Jen Ullman said something, it's funny, but it was really true. Why would someone, President Obama that is, get up and tell you, this is a great country, and elect me and I want to transform it? If it's so great, why do you need to transform it? I don't know about change. I say we need a restoration to the values and principles that made this country great. And the leadership that's in Washington and wants to get control of Austin, they have an antithesis to overturn the thesis. They don't even want to go to the third part. They don't even want to go to the third part of the synthesis, which would be some of a little bit of the same. And they know it. James Carville, reading this morning on the Drudge Report, James Carville does a poll and says, James Carville, the Democratic strategist, does a poll and says 55% of Americans, that means some Democrats too, believe that Barack Obama is a socialist. And you're sitting here saying we can't win an election in East Texas? The people have it. The people got it on property taxes. Abolish it, at least the school property tax part of it, and go to a broad-based sales tax. The people got it. The point is, do we have it and are we ready to lead? And I'm going to leave you with this here. As a young lieutenant, my hair was a little shorter than this, back in 1987. I met my unit out in the field in the West. We got back, and my first tour of duty was in Berlin when it was still a divided city. That June, Ronald Reagan came to the Brandenburg Gate, and I got an invitation. I'm gonna go ahead and say, they may want to use this in campaign against me, but I'll go. It's kind of a funny story. The last two letters in lieutenant, LT. The first and the last letter lost. A lieutenant will get you lost at least once, and I've done it. I got myself lost on that day that Reagan came to Berlin. So what I did is, I said, after lieutenant, I read the little underground train map. Okay, I'm right here. Brandenburg Gate's right there. So all I need to do is get on this subway here and go there. I'll be there. Got there, and as I was riding on the train, I noticed something. I've seen communism. Interesting point here. President Obama and I are about the same age. He's had international travel, and I've had international travel. And the America that I saw overseas is vastly different from the America that he saw. The America that I saw clothed the world, cared for the world, defended for the world, sacrificed for the world. The American that I saw was not an excuse. It was not an apology. But I was on that subway train, and all of a sudden, it started getting dark and dreary. And what I come to find out, I was almost an international incident. I was in East Berlin. I was the only black guy on the train. A very short haircut. And when I looked out, the East German Polizei were on the rafters with their submachine guns. And I said, okay, how is this going to sound? African-American lieutenant, defects to the east. So that's how they would have spent it on Ronald Reagan's visit. So I was like, oh boy, I can get out of this. There was an East German that was sitting across from me on the train, and he said, and that was instructive too, because when I was in East Berlin, Bob, it got dreary and it got dark. And as the train went back to the west, all of a sudden it got bright and sunny again. That was not the real important part of the story. The real important part of the story, what principled leadership, and in this case, principled Republican leadership means. When Ronald Reagan got up on the podium and he challenged Gorbachev to tear down the wall. And they were cheering, and I was just there, whatever. Before I left, there was no wall. That's what principled leadership does. And he was told countless of times, don't say that, don't do that. That's going to make people feel uncomfortable. It's going to, don't do that. It's going to make the Russians feel bad. Don't do that. No. As I told someone, this campaign is going to compete in every county. We're going to compete for black votes. We're going to compete for white votes. We're going to compete for Democratic votes, and we're going to do that because we love people. I need your help. I need your help to elect me. I need your help to elect Scott Cooper to be county commissioner. I need your help to elect the county commissioner from Nacogdoches. There is no doubt in my mind, no doubt in my mind, when I ask people, do you think it's right? Do you think it's right for people to come to this country legally and get public benefits? They say no. Do you think it's right for appraisal district to unelected appraisal district to raise your taxes? Do you think that's right? They say no. Do you think it's right for people from New England and the Northeast to come in and try to dictate the principles and values that if we teach our kids in their classroom? They say no. And that's why I have no doubt in my mind, Wayne Christian, come January the 1st, or whenever we take over, that I will be standing in Austin. Thank you very much.